Welcome back to Takeout. Welcome to the Conversation Corner. Department of Education pushing forward, as promised, with plans to dismantle the agency. Today, it announced a new plan to transfer much of its responsibilities to other federal departments, including Labor and Health and Human Services. This, as the Trump administration works to do, again, as promised, push more power and emphasis to the states when it comes to education policy. Education Secretary Linda McMahon joins me now. Madam Secretary, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Major. It's a pleasure to be here.
So what stays and what goes?
Well, at this particular point, we are doing what I call some testing.
Okay.
We are not permanently transferring programs to different agencies because Congress does have to approve of that.
Right.
So what we're doing is it's almost like contracting, with the agencies. We've already signed one. They're called interagency agreements with the Department of Labor. We did that a few weeks ago. And so we detailed some personnel over there. We still have control. We have management responsibility, and the cost of that program is still coming out of the Department of Education. So I call it a proof of concept.
I see.
I think we're
a pilot program.
It's like a pilot program, and because I want to prove to Congress that these transfers of programs are more efficient and that they work. And so if we can do that, then hopefully we can get Congress to vote and to codify those transfers and make it a permanent move.
Brass tacks. There are three big priorities: special education, impoverished districts in our country, civil rights enforcement. All three of those are going to still be done.
Oh, they will all still be done. They were done before there was a Department of Education. Right. And they will. So what does that look like? They will continue to be done. So we've not made a decision yet about the programs with children with special needs from where it will go. But
the president and you have
civil rights.
Promised that is not going to be abandoned.
No, it will not be abandoned. Absolutely
Special education funding from the federal government.
Special education will not be abandoned.
Because states rely on that, as you well know.
Absolutely, that funding will continue to come. As I said, it came before there was a Department of Education. Title I funding happened before there was a Department of Education. And since the Department of Education has been established, we've spent $3 trillion to watch our test scores continue to go down. Mm-hmm. We are clearly doing something wrong. And the president has made it very clear that he believes the best education is that's closest to the child, working with local school boards, with parents, with governors, and with state superintendents. And it is his intention, clearly, to transfer education back to the states.
From your perspective, Madam Secretary, how long will it take to fairly evaluate the success or workability of these pilot programs transferring authorities out of the Department of Education?
I'm not quite sure. That's why this is a pilot program. We're going to see. As I said, we've done the first program with the Department of Labor. That was done before we had a shutdown. We might have been a little further along at this particular point. But today we did a press release announcing that we were signing 6 additional ones of these. They're called interagency agreements. It's done very commonly all through government. And it is like this subcontracting or pilot program, if you will. So we'll do a couple of more with the Department of Labor, and then with a couple with HHS, one with state, and one with Interior. And
as you indicated, Congress is going to have to evaluate this as well, because you can't make these changes permanent without Congress's approval.
That's correct.
Got it. So Brown, Dartmouth, MIT, University of Arizona, University of Pennsylvania, USC, University of Southern California, University of Virginia, all said no to the compact on educational excellence. University of Texas, Austin, not sure. Vanderbilt, not sure. What's the status of those two?
Well, here's exactly what the compact is doing. That was kind of Compact 101. We wanted to get input, from the universities. We wanted to hear what they had to say. What were their suggestions for returning excellence to higher education? All of those universities have said clearly they believe there are some issues that need to be addressed. So we're now we're in a listening mode where we want to bring in different universities to get their input, so that we can make sure that we are returning universities to places of truth seekers and learning. And so that's what we're about now.
So if I hear you correctly, Madam Secretary, the language of the compact might be redrafted?
Yes, this was a preliminary.
Not compulsory?
Definitely not compulsory. You can't, no, we're not compelling. We hope to have input from the university so that we'll continue to work with them and raise that level, of education. We have issues that we've been dealing with that many of these institutions do not want on their campuses, and I've had conversations with many of the presidents or chancellors.
So the no's from the institutions that I listed, that does not end the conversation from your perspective?
Oh, clearly not. Okay. Clearly not.
A federal judge ruled Friday that you cannot, meaning the Department of Education, take money away from the UC system in California. UCLA has been a targeted school for the Department of Education. Where do things stand?
Well, we'll see. We're going to see, what other measures that we need to take. And
In the interim, you'll abide by the federal court order.
Oh, we will always abide by the law.
Okay. Also, in September, the Education Department announced it was investing $500 million in federal grant programs to support charter schools. That's privately organized, taxpayer-funded operations. What's your level of oversight, and do you worry at all there could be any conflict of interest or things misspent in that space?
I'm not sure exactly what you're asking.
So there are public education supports some charter schools at the local
Correct.
level, but this is the federal government sending money directly to charter schools. How are you going to engage in oversight to make sure they're spending the money properly and not doing anything that would create a conflict of interest with either the people who are running the charter schools or those they're employing to run them on their behalf?
Well, I'm not sure exactly which particular program you're talking about, but in the Big Beautiful Bill, one of the first things that we saw the first time is that there is grant money that can go, to private schools and to these, the tax-deductible organizations that will then give the scholarships to students, if that's what you're referring to.
And is that a larger effort within the Department of Education to privatize public education in our country?
I think that there cannot be enough ways to teach our children. We want to make sure that there are public schools, private schools, homeschooling, religious schools. All of these need to serve, our population with our students. And parents need to have that choice. Parents are the best ones to determine how their kids learn, and they should have that opportunity. They should have the ability to move.
And the federal government can be a funding mechanism for all of those things.
And the president has clearly said, that no child should be trapped in a failing school, and that parents should have the option to move that child where they believe they can get a better education for better opportunity. I fully support that.
It's an ongoing conversation. Madam Secretary, you're always welcome here. Thanks for your time.
Thanks so
I appreciate it
much,
very
Major.